Coming up in this edition of Sports Links Be a Fan, we'll take you through Andres Monroy's rehab process since his junior season.
And we'll introduce you to athletes from golf, softball, baseball, and more.
Coming up next on Sports Link.
Ball State Sports Links Be a Fan, driven by Muncie Nissan. Shift the way you move.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Ball State Sports Links Be a Fan, driven by Muncie Nissan. I'm Josh Blessing.
And I'm Ashley Reed.
Now, Ashley, our past couple shows, we focused on 2 to 3 sports at a time, but this month we have 6 Ball State sports for you. One of them being on the smallest Division I football player, Jamil Smith.
And we'll also get to learn more about 2 track and field sisters who are always together. Let's jump right in.
Andres Monroy has climbed many obstacles since coming to Ball State to play tennis, but none of them greater than what he encountered during his junior season. Alberto Pimienta and Joe Saylor walk you through the Mexico City natives' up and down journey in this story presented by Table X.
Every heart beats at its own pace and loves something different. But in Andres Monroy's heart, tennis has always kept him going. Andres is from Mexico City. He's played tennis since he was a child. From the moment Andres knew his older brother was going to play tennis in the United States, he wanted to follow his steps. The goal became a reality when Ball State University tennis coach Bill Richards heard of Andres from a friend.
Everything pointed to the fact that he was a good student, good character, good player. Based on those things and everything I knew, we decided to go ahead and make him a scholarship offer.
Andres traded the comfort of home to play the sport he loves. He left everything and everyone behind for a new place to pursue his passion.
I'm very close to my family, so it was very tough for me the first 2 or 3 weeks. But once we started practicing, once we started traveling with the team, school started, I was very good after that.
Initially feeling homesick, tennis kept him busy. As the years passed, he started to feel comfortable in the Midwest.
The school is great. I like my major a lot. I like the team. I like the coach. And I don't regret to come to Ball State, even though the weather maybe is not the best weather. Compared to Mexico City, it's very small. I like Muncie. I like Ball State a lot.
From the first time he stepped on the court as a freshman, his commitment has been unshakable.
I was very excited to play with the team. I was playing very good. So I was just very loose, just trying to do everything I could for the team, as I was trying to do.
He's a great competitor. I mean, he's a fighter, never gives up. He's won a lot of very big matches for us in the 3 years that he's played so far.
Andres' freshman and sophomore seasons show the athlete didn't leave home in vain. He delivered. His passion on the court was fierce. However, his 3rd year was about to bring another challenge.
My junior year, I had to step up because Eduardo Pavia, he was our #1 player. He was the leader of this team. He was a captain. He transferred to Miami.
Andres and his teammates were able to fill the void, but in January of 2011, more unexpected events came his way.
They took an MRI of my hip, and they told me those bad news. I never expect that. I never expect those news. So it was very tough. That semester was very tough for me.
After the initial MRI, Coach Richards wanted a second opinion. Andres will never forget the cold night in January.
And one of the doctors told me that I had to stop because it could get worse and worse, and it would be bad for my future.
From January until March, Andres didn't play at all. During that time, he visited doctors in Indianapolis and came back to the court March 5th to finish the season. However, his problems were not finished. Andres' life was about to change.
When I came back here, it was a lot worse. And I went to see the same doctor again. He told me that I had to have surgery.
Doctors repaired torn cartilage and surgically restructured bones in his hip. For Coach Richards to see Andres, a player who brought all the way from another country, endure this situation was heart-wrenching.
Oh, I mean, you're heartbroken for him, and you always feel, really bad for, for that, what they're missing out on, a disappointment of not being able to play the sport you love to play and not being able to contribute to the team. It's very devastating.
The surgery took place September 22nd in Indianapolis. For a person who's played tennis almost every day of his life, the experience was incredibly tough. After 5 months, it was time to step back to the court.
I'm excited for him. He's not where he wants to be, but at least he's back out there, playing the sport he loves, as I say, and being a bigger part of the team than just an off-court leader.
Andres is an inspiration for his teammates.
He's a stand-up guy. The way that he fights on the court is really great. He's definitely a role model in practice. He's always setting a good example for us younger guys coming in.
Well, I think he's going to be, a success in whatever direction he chooses to go because, he's, as we said, he just has all the characteristics, that lead to success.
The Mexican tennis player has been back for 2 months doing what he loves. Back at practice 5 days a week, 3 hours a day, his rhythm of life is back on track. As a senior, he's getting ready to close the phase he started 4 years ago with no regrets.
Great times. I mean, year by year they have different for me, but I have enjoyed every second of my life here at Ball State.
Through many setbacks, Andres' heart keeps beating as fast as it did when he first stepped on a tennis court years ago. For Ball State Sports Link, I'm Alberto Pimienta.
And it's awesome to see someone with such good skills and such a big heart get to come play for Coach Richards, who Coach Richards just actually hit his 200th MAC win.
And it's pretty rare for a head coach to be around for as long as Richards has been here at Ball State, and Andres, I'm sure, is very happy that he's been able to play with him.
Now, Jamil Smith is not your average football player, but with perseverance and determination to not let his size get in the way of his dreams, Smith became a Division I athlete. Find out more in this story by Pat Boylan and Joe Saylor, presented by Robbins Apparel.
Ball State wide receiver Jamil Smith has been called a lot of things. Too short, too small, not a Division I athlete. And in his battle to prove all of those labels wrong, he's earned a new one. Hometown hero.
Indiana basketball state. In Muncie, all they did was play basketball. So I played basketball with my friends. I actually got involved in football in Indianapolis. I lived in Indianapolis 4th grade year with my mother. And, she got me into football, and then from there on, I've just been playing my whole life.
And as Jamil progressed in football, he continued to catch coaches' eyes. So much so that they named him the starting quarterback at Muncie Southside High School as a sophomore.
All the way through middle school, we watched Southside play, and we did their offense. So I played quarterback in 7th grade, so it all transferred when I got here. People think I was a running quarterback, but I was actually a dual threat quarterback. I threw just as many times as I ran the ball. I preferred to pass the ball.
Smith shattered school records in passing and rushing, but his size limited his recruitment. So without a scholarship offer, the choice for Smith was clear: the school right down the road.
I always wanted to play college football. Being close to home, my senior year, a couple members of my family here, no, I didn't have any offers either, so I wanted to stay as a hometown guy and try to get Ball State as good as we could be.
For Jamil to make the jump from high school football to collegiate football, he first needed to make a switch from quarterback to wide receiver.
I had to learn how to run routes perfect, how to look at defenses, know what the corner is doing. So it was a hard adjustment. The biggest challenge was just getting my shot, because they have scholarship players that they have to try to use. So getting opportunity was one of the biggest challenges.
Fade, Jamil Smith. Outstanding catch, touchdown, Ball State.
As a coach, you love to have ex-quarterbacks in your program. I remember years ago back at Lehigh, we had 16 ex-quarterbacks playing for us in all kinds of different positions, from safety to outside linebacker to tight end to wide receiver. Jamil is a guy that's had responsibility put on his shoulders before. He's had to be a leader. He's had to be vocal. And now you take all of those traits and you move it to the receiver position. He has a good understanding not only of his own role within the offense, but everything else that's going on around him.
At 5'8" and 138 pounds, Smith is the smallest player in Division I football, something he feels actually helps him.
Know what you are, know what you aren't. So I use to what I am, small, quick, agile, to my advantage.
When they first turn on the film and they see his size, they're probably not overly concerned, but the more you watch, it's hard not to respect his productivity and the success that he's had so far this year.
I know everybody, I can always remember everybody that said something negative towards me about my size and what exactly they said. I know exactly what everybody said.
As Jamil enters his junior season, he's even more focused to make his goals a reality.
As a team, I wanted to win the MAC championship, go to bowl games. Like after our games, I have a lot of people from the Boys and Girls Club coming up to me, shaking my hand. I know all of them. A lot of people from just where I'm from in Muncie. So I love it. I love it.
For Ball State Sports Link, I'm Pat Boylan.
Now, Ashley, I'm obviously, let's be honest, I'm not the biggest guy that you've ran across, so you definitely will not catch me out there on that football field.
Oh, no. I mean, he's pretty much the same size as me, and that would be more than intimidating.
Yeah, there's no way.
Out there.
There's no way I would do it. No way. You will rarely see Caitlin and Courtney Eaton without each other. The two track sisters dorm together, go to class together, and even chose Ball State so they can run together. And sometimes they even finish each other's sentences. Check out this story produced by Zach Harrison, Brandon Scott, and Chris Rankel.
Hard work, dedication, and the will to win. In the world of sports, your team is like your family, and in every family-sibling rivalry is a common occurrence. But for Courtney and Caitlin Eaton, it takes a totally different meaning.
Just ever since we were little, she's always been faster than me, so it's never been like we were really close to each other like in races, but it's just, she's like really happy for me if I like ever beat her times, and then obviously I'm always really like proud and happy of her.
I think it's more of a friendly thing. We were never like actually like, oh, I'm gonna beat you and I'm gonna beat you, but like sometimes we'll just like sprint against each other or something like that, and she can normally beat me in the sprints.
It's almost like one of those things where I don't want to beat her ever, just because it's always been like this. But I mean, it's a motivator to get like closer to her like in a race, because I know she can do it, I can do it, kind of thing.
Distance is just kind of like a mental sport. Like you can only set your limits by like your mind, because really you can always go faster. It's never like you feel so much pain. It's more just like mentally whether you're in or out of the race.
It's really a mental sport. Like if you're mentally out of it, you're gonna be out of the race. But if you're like believing in yourself, like you're gonna have a good time, a good race.
Their teammates described them as attached at the hip, and wherever you'd find one, you'd find the other as well.
I wanted to run somewhere where I can run with my sister, and coming here offered both of us a running opportunity, so that's what I like the most.
It's just an awesome experience, because I always have somebody to like go out and run with, like if the team doesn't meet up, and like it's just like a motivator, because if you're by yourself, it's a lot harder to go do something, and rather than having like your best friend there making sure that you're like gonna do it and get it done.
I mean, she's my best friend, and you always go with your best friend, so we're always attached at the hip.
Like we have all of our classes are the same. Like we go to all of our classes together. Like we dorm together. We're with each other 24/7. We like say the same thing all the time.
And then of course having her at the line with me, this makes me a little more confident and more like comfortable before a race.
In the end, there is no race that could ever break this bond of sisterhood. For Ball State Sports Link, I'm Brandon Scott.
Sometimes nerves get the best of people, even for Division I athletes. Golfer Megan Perry eases her nerves with one simple word: calm. Find out how she uses what's written on her glove to improve her game in this In Focus story by Katie Hargett and Alberto Pimienta.
My name is Megan Perry, and I'm a sophomore on the Ball State women's golf team. I'm an underclassman. I'm still not a leader yet, but I would like to think that I provide consistent scores for the team and that I'm ready to step in a leadership position. And my parents told me that I had to be involved in something in high school. I chose golf, and I've stuck with it. The reason I fell in love with golf is because it's difficult and it's constantly a challenge, and no matter how many hours you practice, there's still a shot that you haven't perfected, or there's still a club in your bag that you're not 100% confident in, and that you constantly work towards those goals. My teammates and I are really close. We basically know everything about everybody's business, and we're constantly helping each other. We live together. It's just become a family. My dream would be able to get my scoring average down. I think I can do it. A lot of things go through my head, and then I usually think before the shot. I'm like, all right, straight back, straight through, keep calm. Deep breath, and I go. I wrote calm on my glove in this past tournament because I have a tendency to get really quick with my swing, and it causes bad things to happen. And so I wrote calm on my hand, so when I look down and I always check my grip, I see that. My teammates make fun of me because I constantly match my bow to my outfit and my shoes to my belt. I have kind of like certain things that I wear. I want to remind people that I'm a girly golfer.
Now, I don't know much about golf, but what she's been able to do this season is pretty impressive.
Oh, she's had 3 top 20 and 2 top 10 finishes, so lots of career bests for her.
It's exciting. Softball head coach Greg Nicholson has recruited players from all over the country. From California to Florida, Nicholson has brought in recruits which have put Ball State at the top of the Mid-American Conference. Check out this story produced by Paul Brown, Drew Adamson, and Andrew Cook. Presented by WMDH.
The only boundaries in softball are made of chalk. Between the foul lines lie friendship and camaraderie. Ball State's softball team is proof of this. The roster includes players from 10 different states, but whether from Florida or California, these women all face the same challenge: adjusting to life in Muncie, Indiana.
We got Muncie that closes down at like 9 o'clock, and then Vegas that never closes. So it's just really different, but it was cool, you know, coming to a different atmosphere and being around different people.
The first few times it snowed is kind of exciting. Like my roommate, she was like, "Why do you like the snow so much?" And I mean, I wasn't really exposed to it when I was younger. I would always get like so upset because I would only have like a few hours to play in the snow, and so when I got here to Muncie, I was like counting down the days, and actually some of the girls made fun of me because they were like, "You're gonna, you know, hate the snow and you're not gonna like it, and it's not fun." And I was just like, no, like it's awesome, like come on guys, like it's snow. And it finally got here, and I just remember like completely wiping out, and I was carrying all of my softball stuff and then just like completely scattered as soon as I fell, and it was not a fun time. My best friend, Kim Mazepika, she's one of the pitchers, when it first started like flurrying, I guess it's called, we were driving in our car. We had to stick our heads out of the window because we didn't know if we could put the windshield wipers on. And we didn't want to screw our car up, so we just drove down McGalliard with our heads out the window.
It's fun to play in and go out and experience, but living and driving in it isn't really the best time.
For some players, the new climate wasn't the only challenge.
I would say the hardest part about being so far away from home is just I can't go home when I need to. Like this year I've had a few relatives pass away and I wasn't able to go home for their funerals and things like that. So just when my family's in need, I feel like I can't really be there for them.
In Muncie, I'm so close to home, so I think it's a lot easier for me when I miss my family that I can go home and my family can come to me. So I can't imagine how my teammates feel when they're so far from home, and that I think also forces us to become closer because, you know, they can't all depend on their families.
There's like 5 people in the dugout whose family isn't here, so you guys should sit and talk together.
Head coach Craig Nicholson understood what his players were going through, and he came uniquely prepared for this.
I grew up in St. Thomas, Ontario, Canada. My experience of just being in new places and having moved, you know, 4 or 5 times in my life, you know, maybe that helps a little bit with some of these guys that for the first time in their lives are away from home.
He uses us as a family, and that's the reason he's here. So he really stresses for us to all hang out together, all be as a family, and if one person's down, the whole team will be there to pick them up.
kids that are maybe a little homesick or whatever the situation is, it doesn't matter. They could be 2 hours away from home. They could be 20 hours away from home. It doesn't necessarily make a difference. It's all about how well they adjust to their new atmosphere.
While sharing the experience of life in a new city, these players found strength and unity.
You know, one of the biggest things I tell them is it's going to be hard, you know, getting used to, you know, the time difference and then getting used to the temperature, but also getting used to being so far away from your family and them not being able to come so much. I think it was nice for them to have me to rely on, and also, you know, Kim Mazepika being from Florida. We were all there for them, and I think that's why our team's so much like a family, because not only are we a team and we're together 24/7, but we have to rely on each other and we have to be there for each other all the time.
Because we're all from different areas, that we are like required to depend on each other and become close, because like I said, we can't all depend on our parents to come when we need them or to go home when we need to. It's like we have to form our own family here.
You know, I think more important than where they're from or what their background is just the group of kids we have right now is a great group, and they get along really well, and you know, hopefully we can continue to do that in the future.
Strangers brought together on the softball field. These Cardinals became more than just friends. They became a family. For Ball State Sports Link, I'm Drew Adamson.
Ashley, did you know only 8 out of the 21 girls on the roster are actually just from Indiana?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's great, though, that they can come together and create such a close second family. Many baseball players feel the faster they throw, the better their odds are of getting drafted. While baseball player Cal Bowling may not pitch as fast as the others, Coach Alex Marconi feels he has what it takes to get to the next level. Here's his journey since high school and his future goals in this story by Ben Wagner and Kyle Binder, presented by Fox College Sports.
His career was born just 6 miles away. Cal Bowling was a 4-year starter for the Yorktown Tigers, practically rewriting the program's record book. He also helped lead his team to 2 consecutive semi-state appearances.
He's a great leader and always had a great attitude in the field and off the field, so I mean, it was just nice to have him on my team.
We had pretty good players, and I played with them from the time I was 8, 9, 10, and so it was kind of just fun. Continue playing with them, and we won a lot of games.
Strikeouts, ERA, innings pitched, and wins. All categories that Bowling topped after 4 years, and that resume wasn't overlooked by nearby Ball State.
Everybody on the coaching staff knew that he was one of the better pitchers around, so it was just kind of a natural fit for us to start the recruiting process with him.
It started out with letters, started like sophomore year. I didn't want to think too much of it because I knew they were just letters and they had big mailing lists and stuff, but it kind of just makes you want to work harder so that when it actually comes time to get recruited, that those letters actually turn into phone calls and visits and everything.
I think at the end of the day, he had some sense of comfortableness staying at home, and it was a good fit for him to come in and help right away.
I like the coaches. They'd always had good players. I kind of just knew that I'd be able to succeed here.
I mean, he's always placed the ball really well. He's always had that. I mean, he probably throws 85 to 88, so he's not like overpowering, but he's always had the stuff, and he mixes his pitches well, so he's just doing his thing, I guess, and it's working for him.
It's just his ability to throw multiple pitches for strikes at any time. He could do that in high school, and he's continued to do that here, which has helped him be very successful.
He went 9-4 after his first 2 seasons, but his junior year was anything but normal. A herniated disc forced surgery at the end of October. However, he recovered in time for the spring season. But unfortunately, halfway through the season, a different herniated disc prompted another surgery. But once again, he rehabbed his way back to be the Cardinals' ace this season.
They give you a timetable for the rehab and for when you're fully healthy, but you never know until you get in because everybody's different and everybody reacts to the surgery and the rehab differently.
As a pitcher, I thought he was gonna struggle a little bit, but I mean, he came back from the injury and he looked like the same Cal that I've always seen him as.
I think sitting out kind of gave me time to really focus on what I needed to do and visualize what I needed to do when I was ready to come back.
That includes envisioning the future after Ball State, hopefully following his former pitching teammates Colburn Vidic and Percy Gardner to the majors.
My goals ever since I was, I think, like 10 is to get drafted, and that's just kind of, always just wanted to get drafted and have a chance, see what could happen, and it's still a goal.
I hope he gets picked up, play somewhere. I hope he gets drafted. I mean, he deserves it because he's a great pitcher. He's a great person. He works hard. I wish him the best of luck with that.
The thing is going to be somebody giving him that opportunity. Some professional baseball club is going to have to take a chance on a right-handed pitcher who doesn't throw the ball 92, 93 miles an hour. That's going to be the thing is who's going to take that chance. I believe he can pitch professionally right now and do a very good job.
With his successful history behind him, Bowling hopes it pays off moving forward. For Ball State Sports Link, I'm Kyle Binder.
Well, that's all the time we have for this month's edition of the Be a Fan. You can like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter, and even visit online at ballstatesports.com/sportslink.
You can also catch us on WIPB, Comcast Indiana, and Fox College Sports. For our producers, Paul Weller and Kevin Thurman, and all of us here at Ball State Sports Link, I'm Ashley Reed.
I'm Josh Blessing, and we'll see you next time.